Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Blank, President and CEO of the Theory Group, and I'm here live at Life Science Innovation Northwest, a conference held annually by the Washington Biotechnology Biomedical Association. Currently with John Wecker. John is with the Pacific Northwest Diabetes Research Institute. He's the president and CEO of the organization. John, tell me a little bit about PNDRI and the stuff that you guys are up to these days.
Sure. We actually have a long storied history here in Seattle. We were founded in 1956 by Dr. William Hutchinson, who had a vision that biomedical research would cure man's ailments in his view. Since then, Dr. Hutchinson founded the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. So we like to think of ourselves as the original Hutch, even if our sibling has eclipsed us quite a bit. Over the years, we took on a focus on our research related to diabetes. Type 1, type 2, associated conditions of diabetes. So we do both basic and clinical research looking into better ways to predict, detect, and manage diabetes. And then more recently, we've taken on a whole set of what I call foundational science. Some of the more sort of state-of-the-art science that has emerged from advances in, say, genomics and computational biology that are giving us some tremendous insights into diseases such as diabetes, in particular the root causes of some of these diseases.
In terms of diabetes today, how far along have we come since Dr. Hutchinson founded the organization, or worked to start the organization back in 1956?
Well, the greatest advancements in diabetes care has really been in ways to improve the quality of health of people suffering from type 1 and type 2 diabetes. The reality is, while we've made tremendous strides, advances in being able to make life easier for people suffering from the disease, the reality is that if you saw a physician 50, 60 years ago, they would basically be providing the same sort of service, just in a much better way now. We think there's opportunities to even look at the basic causes of the disease. And the analogy that I use is, if you've got a disease like diabetes, it's like a hurricane. You can take steps to try to avoid the hurricane, maybe mitigate the damage, but that hurricane's going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it. But if we can find the antecedent conditions to that hurricane, the sort of proverbial butterfly's wings, and really stop the disease before it gathers that momentum and that power, that's where the true breakthroughs lie in diabetes.
What do you guys need in order to get your organization further entrenched into that? Is it funding? Is it more researchers? Or do you feel like we're on that path towards a cure, or, I mean, not necessarily a cure because none of us want to say that, but what is it that you guys need?
We at PNDRI, we believe we are on that path. That said, we do look forward to deepening our foundational science, really improving sort of the bench strength, to borrow that sports analogy. Funding, yes, of course, always necessary, both the kind of funding that you get from traditional sources such as the NIH, but also some more flexible sources. Some of the work that we do is risky, and some of the more traditional funders don't always feel comfortable supporting some risky research. So we need to find, and will find, some donors, some sources that appreciate that high risk, high reward, and so it's worth taking a bet on some of the work that we're doing.
And speaking of bench strength, your bench has completely got strengthened in the past, I'd say, year or so. You've added a bunch of new researchers. I think I last counted you had eight labs altogether.
Yes.
Your board, you've added former King County Executive Ron Sims, who was on the national scene a couple of years ago, and among others, folks from Microsoft and other foundational pieces. It seems like you're headed down the right direction. And I'd say that's a lot to your credit. What would you say, John, about the path that you guys are going down and the bench strength that you truly have?
Yeah. Well, I mean, diabetes is really a global crisis, public health crisis, and it requires the very best science, the very best minds that we can possibly bring together to tackle this challenge. So when I thought about the future of the Institute and working together with my board of trustees, we said, to ourselves, we need a new path, a path that's really going to help advance, it really advances science and advance the breakthroughs. And so we undertook a strategy development process, and we've charted a course now that includes, as I said, strengthening that foundational science, creating a culture where people come together and collaborate. So internally, taking our disease-specific expertise in diabetes and marrying it with that bench strength to really get some insights into what we can do for diabetes. Externally, building up more collaborations, really increasing the collaborations that we do to amplify our results. Create a culture that says when we have a scientific insight, it's an imperative to translate it, to move it forward, to hopefully get it to the place where it can deliver health impact. So a whole culture change, a whole philosophy change, and yes, strengthening the board as well. We have aspirations that are pretty high, and getting all the support that we can get, both from our scientists as well as our supporters in the community, our donors. Those are all part of the strategy and the secret of our success.
Now let's put on your other hat. You're on the board of the WBBA,
Yes.
the organization that we're here. This organization obviously has done really well in the last 25 years that it's been in existence. It's got more than 600, 700, 800 members as part of its organization. Where do you see this organization going, and what are the strengths of it that the community should, if you're not involved in it, pay attention to it?
Well, you can see all the elements right here at LSINW. And for me, it starts with the I, the innovation. As I sat through the company presentations these last 2 days, there's no companies here doing more of the same Me Too science. They are innovative, they're entrepreneurial, they're just really exciting. And I think WBBA has really provided a forum to capture and bring together those people with that kind of innovative, entrepreneurial, high aspirations. And you can feel it. There's an energy in the room, you can feel it. Collaboration, another huge part, I think, which is a hallmark of Seattle and maybe Washington State in terms of life sciences community. Again, with the support of WBBA to create forums like this, where I just enjoy in one place being able to meet new people and connect with folks that I haven't seen in a while, and some great ideas just come out of that opportunity. And then the other thing that I hear so frequently in attending the company presentations is that there is that feeling like science is here to help people, to deliver health impact, and we need to move faster. We need to move faster together and in collaboration and partnership, and take that innovation and really drive it to help people. So WBBA just supports and fosters and creates forums like this that allow people to come together.
John, one last question. How important is this industry to the state of Washington?
I think it's huge. I'm biased, but I think it's really important. We're not only delivering some tremendous health impact that I'm sure the residents of Washington State and around the world don't fully realize where they come from, and a lot of it comes just from this ecosystem, this community. Economically, we're an important driver in Washington State, and I think the whole healthcare delivery, healthcare information technology, coupled with the latest advances in the biopharmaceuticals and the medical device community, having that all come together in one place, bring it all together, allow it to ferment and grow and feed off one another, it just is a tremendous opportunity for all of us individually, as a state, both economically and from a health perspective.
John Wecker, thank you. Thanks so much. John is the president and CEO of the Pacific Northwest Diabetes Research Institute. On the web there, PNRI.org. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.